Hey everyone, my name is GM Mayhem and welcome to my video on running sandbox campaigns for tabletop role-playing games. In sandbox-style campaigns, the players have much more freedom to choose their own path through the world and story. This provides a great open-ended experience, but also requires more work from the GM to be flexible and think on your feet. In this video, I'll define what sandbox campaigns are, explain the benefits they provide, and most importantly, give you practical tips and tools to run a successful sandbox as the game master. From managing prep time, to improvising content, to keeping players engaged, I'll cover everything you need to know. If you want to break free of linear adventure modules and let your players loose in a dynamic, reactive world, then this video is for you. Let's get started. What are sandbox campaigns? First, what exactly is a sandbox campaign? The term comes from the concept of a child's sandbox, an open play space where kids can build and shape the environment based on their imagination. A sandbox ttrpg campaign applies this same principle to tabletop gameplay. Rather than following predefined quest lines and plot points, players are free to explore your world however they want. Maybe they wander off in a random direction just to see what's there. Or chase a character backstory lead their GM hadn't considered. Or start a business rather than pursue the main villain. The possibilities are truly wide open. As the GM, you create interesting characters, locations and conflicts throughout the world for players to uncover through their choices. Where they go and what they do shapes the emerging narratives and adventures they experience. GMs react and improvise to bring these player-driven choices to life. Benefits of sandbox campaigns. This non-linear freedom provides some great benefits. Players feel like they have real agency over the story, which is deeply rewarding. When they follow their own path, their choices feel impactful. Exploration and discovery of a dynamic world feels more immersive than following a pre-planned plotline. The world feels alive and responsive. You can incorporate characters and elements from player backstories more organically based on the paths they choose. Game sessions feel fresh and surprising when based on player decisions versus an inflexible adventure module or plot. Sandboxing encourages creative collaborative storytelling between the GM and players. In short, sandboxing makes your tabletop world feel more immersive, reactive and tailored to your players. But this experience doesn't happen on its own. The GM needs the right strategies and tools to make sandboxing work smoothly. Let's look at how to run a great sandbox campaign. GM tip number 1, focus on local areas first. The most intimidating part of prepping a sandbox is the prospect of detailing entire continents or worlds right away. Avoid taking on more than you can handle. Start small by focusing on one local region, town or city where the campaign begins. Flesh out some NPCs, locations, conflicts and other hooks just in this starting area. That's more than enough to sustain early sessions and levels. As the party adventures, you can gradually expand your sandbox prep outward in the directions they travel. Starting local and scaling up prevents you from wasting time prepping vast swathes of geography the party may never even reach or engage with. Prioritize based on where they'll actually go. GM tip number 2, create a roster of NPCs. Populating your sandbox with interesting characters for your players to meet and interact with brings the world to life. Maintain a roster of NPCs you can draw on and insert into the world dynamically based on party actions. Include generic archetypes like guards, merchants, innkeepers, etc., as well as more distinct and plot-relevant NPCs of your own invention. Outline names, occupations, personalities, motivations and other basic traits so you can improvise and roleplay them fluidly during sessions. Sprinkle these NPCs around areas the party explores to make things feel vibrant and lived in. GM tip number 3, develop factions and organizations. In addition to individual NPCs, develop some factions like guilds, religious sects, mercenary clans, wizard circles, etc. These groups all have unique cultures, goals and resources. As your party journeys, they may interact and become entangled with these factions in many ways, sparking adventures and intrigue. Perhaps they seek out assistance, step on some toes accidentally, or even get into direct conflict. Flesh out the faction details that make them unique. Just a paragraph or two on each provides plenty of hooks to stir your sandbox setting into motion. GM tip number 4, create a random encounter table. Populate areas like roads, forests, oceans, etc. with random encounter tables relevant to each terrain. Include a mix of battle encounters with monsters and/or bandits, as well as friendly events like travelers sharing rumors. When the party is on the move, roll for surprise random encounters to bring the world to life. Vary the chances of encounters based on the danger level of the area. Encounter tables provide exciting, unexpected moments between plot points and locales. Print and reference your tables during play for easy access. GM tip number 5. Make adventure sites modular. For important locations like dungeons, ruins, enemy bases, etc. that you expect the party may visit at some point, build these adventure sites in a modular fashion. Rather than fully detailing every room, prepare sections like groups of chambers focused on factions, major encounters, etc. Plus have generic tiles like corridors and empty rooms you can dynamically fit together to adjust the map based on where players go. This flexibility prevents wasted prep work. Build sites modularly from the start to reuse and refit puzzle pieces as needed when the party finally gets there. GM tip number 6, embrace the unexpected. The party will inevitably throw you curveballs by wandering into unplanned areas or pursuing quest lines you hadn't fully fleshed out yet. Embrace this unpredictability. Make embracing the unknown part of the fun. When players veer off course, don't panic. Take a moment to think and improvise. Resist overplanning specific story beats and let the game evolve based on their choices. By embracing improvisation and thinking on your feet, you'll provide the feeling of a genuinely living world. GM tip number 7, scout player interests. Pay attention to story hooks, NPCs and locations that get your players most excited. Note character backstory threads or side quests they seem eager to pursue. Use these insights to direct your preparation efforts. Catering the sandbox experience around the specific characters and players at your table increases their engagement and sense of agency. Their actions will naturally guide you to prepare material and encounters they'll find compelling. GM tip number 8, create organizational tools. With sandbox campaigns generating lots of emergent story threads, stay organized. Create player-facing tools like relationship maps showing how NPCs connect, timelines tracking major events, world maps marking sites they discover. Building out these living reference documents provides clarity and keeps everyone on the same page. Organization tools help you juggle all the improvised pieces and changing status quos of your dynamic world as well. GM tip number 9, provide adventure hook options. While sandbox campaigns emphasize player freedom, too much absolute openness can feel aimless or paralyze indecisive groups. Provide a healthy mix of adventure side options, prepare encounters and engaging NPCs to hook their interest. Sprinkle plot hooks and adventure leads throughout your world design. Players feel agency over which leads they follow up on versus a linear path of breadcrumbs. Like a shopping mall of possible quests. GM tip number 10, check in frequently. Make a habit of checking in with your players regularly. See what they're enjoying most about the current campaign and get their feedback. Find out which prepared adventure hooks they're keen to pursue next. Solicit their input on what additions would enrich the experience. These open conversations ensure you tailor and improve the sandbox campaign around what your group loves best about playing together. Conclusion. Sandbox campaigns unlock incredible freedom and memorable emergent storytelling at the table. By starting local then expanding your preparation gradually, embracing improv, and catering the world to your players' interests, you can run dynamic sessions where your group steers the narrative. Focus on crafting building blocks like interesting NPCs, sites, factions, and encounters you can fit together as needed. Seek player feedback often. Although sandbox games require flexibility and improvisation from the GM, the payoff of immersive adventures driven entirely by player choice is well worth the extra effort. So gather your party and prepare for an epic player-driven journey. your tabletop role-playing world awaits. Just be sure not to overplan or overprepare. The wonder of sandbox campaigning is not knowing where the unpredictable tides of adventure will take you and your players together next. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the content, please like and comment, tell me what you thought. If you want to help me out, consider joining my Patreon using the link in the description. Patrons can enjoy my videos before they are released on YouTube. You can also download articles on ttrpg subjects that I have written, and I'll be posting chapters of my upcoming book, The Game Master's Guide to Crafting Legendary Worlds. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to make sure you never miss out.